Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavatim Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashaki Midrash Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 31st chapter, titled as The Movements of Living Entities, text number 23. Kapiladev is explaining to Mata Devhuti about a process of birth of a child from the womb of mother and the type of difficulties a child undergoes while coming out from the womb of mother. Kapiladev says, Tena sahasa कृत्वा क्षीर आतुरः विनिष्क्रामति कृच्छ्रेण निरुच्छवासो हतस्मृति. Kapil Dev says the translation is pushed downwards all of a sudden by the wind. The child comes out from the womb of mother with a great difficulty. The head is downwards. The child is breathless and the child is deprived of the memory due to severe agony or pain. So, the birth of a child from the womb of mother is not a pleasant phenomenon. The child has to undergo a lot of pains or problems because the child is passing through a narrow cavity of uterus within the womb of mother, and the child is being pushed down by the wind, by the propelling forces within the womb. And because of the pressure, the child has to suffer a lot. Head is being compressed, chest is being compressed, breathing is very difficult. And the child is in serious trouble now while getting birth. So, this process of birth is a forceful process. The child is forcefully expelled out from the womb of mother. And while being expelled out, the child is suffering because of the breathlessness and pain and pressure. So Srila Prabhupada explains this in the purport very nicely. Prabhupada says, the word krichena means with great difficulty. When a child comes out from the abdomen through the narrow passage, due to the pressure, there the breathing system completely stops. And due to agony, the child loses his memory. So, because there is an intense pressure, the child loses the memory. Sometimes the trouble is so severe that child comes out dead or almost dead. The birth is not a pleasant phenomenon. Child has to suffer, mother has to suffer. And when the child comes out, it is already suffering in the form of pressure and pain. One can imagine what the pangs of birth are like. The child remains for 10 months in that horrible condition within the abdomen, and at the end of the 10 months, he is forcefully pushed out. You can't stay there within the womb of mother. Well, within the womb also, it's not pleasant because you are surrounded by amniotic fluid, which is the urine and stool of a child. And then so many germs are biting the child. So it's not a pleasant phenomenon. And then the child is pushed down from the uterus, from the uterine cavity to the outside world. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna points out that a person who is serious about advancement in spiritual consciousness should consider 4 pangs of life, which is birth, disease, old age, and death. These are compulsory for everybody. The materialists advance in many ways, but the materialist is not able to stop the 4 principal sufferings of the material existence, which are birth, disease, old age, and death. Right? So, Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains that regardless of the material advancement, no matter how we can become powerful materially, these 4 problems or defects are always going to be there. So, the key takeaway points from this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is that the process of birth is an intense phenomenon. It is agonizing, it is painful, and the material suffering, the material existence is painful or suffering. So a wise man would think twice and would say, oh, why should I get entangled in this world which is full of miseries? I should go back to Krishna Loka, which is full of joy, bliss, and eternity. So the practical application is that we have to cultivate a detachment from the material world. Because there is a serious problem here. Why? Because there is a trauma. There are sufferings in this material world. So remembering those pains helps us to remember Krishna more. Because it helps us to remember that, oh, this material world, right from the birth up to the death, there is only suffering and suffering and suffering only. So there is a need for shift in consciousness from material to spiritual, thinking about Krishna. Okay, so we'll pause here. We'll continue study of Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow. Prindraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Prema.